What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video. More specifically, this video will be a Blizzard rant about Blizzard's decisions recently, and also their decisions throughout the entirety of classic WoW, all the way from vanilla to TBC, also to Wrath as well. Now this all obviously comes from Blizzard adding the WoW token into Wrath of the Lich King Classic just a couple of weeks ago, and it's basically been spiraling from there. Today we're taking a look at the botting situation, Blizzard's response, what they are doing right now and what they should have done before as well. Basically just taking a look at the corporate greed of this company and how negatively this will be impacting the game and how negatively it has impacted the game so far. So just a couple of weeks ago, once again Blizzard added the WoW token to Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and right after adding the WoW token they also had to come out with a blue post statement about why they added the WoW token, because let's face it, people were not too happy about this, and every other change Blizzard has made, they have talked about in advance. They have given like a heads up and talked about what's coming, but for the WoW token, they tried to just slip it in with a weekly maintenance and not make a big deal out of it. Now people reacted and they had to make a statement about why, and their reasoning is that it's the only way to combat RMT and botting apparently. Even the president of Blizzard, like Mike Ibarra, went on Twitch on a live stream and said that as well, that the WoW token was the only way to effectively combat RMT, and they were not making any money from the WoW token, which is a blatant lie in itself. They're obviously making money from the WoW token, like first of all they're selling it to you for 20 bucks, when a weekly sub can go all the way down to 10 bucks. So just based on that alone, they're uppricing it to make a profit. They're obviously making money from it, and they're trying to cash out on people doing RMT. Putting in the WoW token opens up RMT to more people. The people that were not willing to take the risk of buying gold illegally, they now have a legal way of doing so. And for some of the people that were taking the risk, but they didn't really want to take the risk anymore, now they're going to buy gold from Blizzard directly. So they're obviously cashing in on the RMT business, and they're cashing in on the GDKP business. People want to buy gold, use those golden raids, and get the gear as well. Blizzard knows this, and they want to make a profit. Now this is where part 1 of my rant comes into play. So just a few days ago, actually 8 days ago, a video appeared on YouTube which I have been highlighted before, and I will highlight it once again in this video as well. A video made by Heisenberg, who did some mind control, mind vision from a priest to see what rogues were doing in the Black Temple, and he posted that one to YouTube. It has now gained 16,000 views, and after that one spiked, Blizzard made a response. Whether or not that response was directly made because of this video, I don't really know. It could have been like a factor, but personally I've made videos on botting in TBC Classic that got 20,000 views and Blizzard didn't even care. Now they obviously have more reason to care, which we'll get further into later, but basically a video came out about rogues in Black Temple, and now Blizzard posted this about Black Temple. Black Temple has been temporarily disabled, it's temporarily unavailable. In order to address issues impacting the game service, we have temporarily closed Black Temple. We intend to deploy fixes for it and then reopen the instance during scheduled weekly maintenance on Tuesday, June 6th in this region. Now in this blue post they are not directly stating that this is done to combat botting or anything like that, but they are disabling the Black Temple, and this one was posted 3 days ago. The video came out 8 days ago. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Black Temple has now been temporarily disabled because they want to deploy some fixes that will fix botting inside the Black Temple. Overall, this should be a good thing, right? Well, yes and no. Number 1, they are doing something to combat botting. Finally, we've been asking for this ever since the launch of Classic WoW, and ever since then they've done basically nothing. They banned like 500,000 bots or something back in Classic WoW, and do you know what had to happen for that to happen? Like, we were a bunch of content creators directly messaging each other and we all uploaded a video the same week on botting in Classic WoW, and we even got like websites in as well that made articles on botting in Classic WoW. After all that came out, Blizzard obviously had to do something to repair their PR. After more than 10 content creators and 2 big websites, like news articles websites, all made posts about botting, they had to do something to respond. After that, we haven't really heard anything about botting. Throughout the rest of Classic WoW, there were rogues in BRD pickpocketing 24/7. They never took down BRD to deploy some fixes. Throughout TBC Classic, same thing, people boosted level 58 rogues and then pickpocketed in BRD, and people even boosted Death Knights and soloed instances. Those instances were also never actually disabled. Now, so far in Wrath of the Lich King, we've also seen people boost up Death Knights and level them through Alterac Valley, through botting obviously, and then botting inside instances such as Mana Tombs, and even you have Mana Tombs, you have Slave Pens, you have all of those TBC dungeons where bots are farming for raw gold, and they could basically go in with no risk of dying and just farm raw gold and do this over and over again. Both in Phase 1 and Phase 2 you had several instances where you saw over 50 level 80 DKs, without a guild, obvious botting names, and I even made videos showing their obvious bots as well. Like, they were botting inside Mana Tombs and other TBC dungeons. There were tons of bots all the time. They were never temporarily disabled, and Blizzard gave absolutely, like, they didn't care at all about these bots. Now suddenly, after all this time, after having Classic WoW for what is it now, almost 4 years, now they suddenly care enough to start fixing dungeons that bots are abusing. They have been, like literally, in TBC Classic we saw bots that were fly hacking inside the Steam vaults and also glitching through the floor in Slave Pens, and they were never temporarily disabled and put in fixes. Now suddenly, in Wrath of the Lich King, Phase 2, almost Phase 3, right after deploying the WoW token, now all of a sudden they care enough about botting to fix these problems that have been here since Classic WoW, and it's not like they've been hidden problems, they have been literal problems that we, content creators, websites, and just the Reddit posts and everything, we've been showing them. Blizzard knows for a fact that these problems have been here. They have chosen to blatantly ignore them up until now, because now they have come out with the WoW token, which means that botting and illegal RMT, like real money trading, is directly hurting their business. Before, it was not hurting their business, like they wanted bots to pay and play, like pay for the game, pay their monthly sub, and just do their botting business. They were basically holding off on banning them to make sure the bots made enough profit to come back. That way Blizzard makes more cash as well, because if you ban them before they make a profit, they're going to stop botting and Blizzard will make less profit. So it's more profitable for Blizzard to ignore botting, let them make profit, and then ban them after a while, at which point they come back, make profit again, and it's an endless cycle. Now the reason why I'm making this video and this rant in itself is that while I personally do think fixing botting is a good thing, I also think it's honestly incredibly fucking pathetic that they suddenly start fixing it now after introducing the WoW token, when they literally have done nothing against it up until this point, and they use the WoW token and they use the excuse of the WoW token actually combating botting, and then after deploying the WoW token, now they start working on fixing RMT, like illegal RMT and botting. After doing something, like after putting the WoW token in, if they had done these fixes from the very start, they could have stopped this from happening and the WoW token was never even necessary. The thing is, they could deploy invisible walls inside all the dungeons where bots are botting inside instances, and that would be fixed by itself, and then they could add more harsh bans to people buying gold as well. Like I've seen like friends who have been buying gold and they've gotten 1 or 2 week bans. If you put that ban up to 1 or 2 months instead of just a week or 2, now suddenly a lot less people are going to be willing to buy gold, and if nobody's buying gold, then the bots have nobody to sell the gold to. Make sure that people get banned more harshly for buying gold and do some active combating against the bots. The WoW token was never necessary, it's had a huge negative impact on the game itself. People absolutely hate the WoW token, and still they put it in because now they can cash out on the RMT business and the GDKP business. Honestly, seeing all of this happen really pisses me off, because I have been actively fighting against the botting ever since I started making Classic WoW videos. Both in regular Classic WoW and especially in TBC and in Wrath, I have been highlighting on my channel where the bots are and exactly what they are doing. We have been doing this mind vision or mind control tactic all the time to see from the bot's perspective what they are doing, and we have been showing visual proof of bots that are fly hacking inside dungeons, and up until this point nothing has happened. And right now suddenly things are starting to happen after they put in the WoW token. Basically after giving up the fight, or now because once again it's directly impacting their business, because Blizzard is literally selling gold themselves, which I personally think is absolutely, once again, pathetic. And it really sucks because Classic WoW is a good game that people love playing, and this, the WoW token itself and the RMT business, the botting, and the way Blizzard has been handling things really takes away a massive chunk of the integrity of Classic WoW. And it's going to show. I think this is going to be a very bad mistake, bad decision. I have no idea what I'm saying, dude. But I think overall the WoW token will be a negative thing for Classic WoW, and I think Blizzard did something stupid here. But at the very least, they're probably going to make some cash out of it. Either way, just a big rant today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video to some degree, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Either way, thank you so much for watching, as always. Leave a sub, leave a like, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.